My custom rule set Brawler mode for Doom Eternal turned out to be a decent sized hit with players looking for a new way to play the game. It eventually became a playable mod, and ever since the Dark Ages came out, I've been hit with daily requests for the new Brawler mode. Well, it's time. Before I lay out the rules, let's go over what Brawler mode seeks to achieve. If you are genuinely interested in playing this version of the game, I recommend watching this entire video and not just checking out the rules. It's best to understand their reason for existing. Brawler, since 2016, has always been about emphasizing resource management, underpowering the player, and most importantly, bringing them closer to the action. Eternal banned the ballista, sticky bombs, and precision bolt so you couldn't target weak points. It banned certain suit upgrades, ice bomb was banned. There was a lot of emphasis on full auto shotgun and remote detonation falters. It was brutal, but it made you play in a new way. This time around, Brawler takes a modified approach because 1, the Dark Ages is pretty different from the last 2 games, and 2, I'm unable to control your resource counts this time. Past Brawler modes banned health, armor, and ammo upgrades, keeping you right on the edge of death at all times. Not enough ammo to just use one gun, requiring regular glory kills, demanding smart use of your slow cooldown flame belch to stay alive. In the Dark Ages, health, armor, and ammo upgrades are largely unavoidable since they are earned at the end of leader encounters throughout the campaign. So this time, I have to take into account the fact that players are getting more powerful, instead of staying at a starvation point the entire time. And the Dark Ages, by design, already pulls the player in closer to the action, through the melee system, parries, and shorter range weapons. It's been complicated to settle on new Brawler rules, but after 500 hours, I have them. I'm gonna lay out the rules, and please stay for the explanation. The foundation of Brawler the Dark Ages is triple shot combat shotgun, twice upgraded pulverizer, and the gauntlets. Those are your tools, and your only tools. Both guns are not allowed to get the final Wraithstone upgrade. Gauntlet is not allowed to unlock the Jolt upgrade until right before you fly to meet Creed Maker, and the Plasma is legal only to take down his shield. The final melee upgrade is not allowed at any point. The BFC is banned for anything outside of the initial combat area. Flail and Dread Mace are banned completely. I tried to include unupgraded Dread Mace because it does play fairly well with the high ammo consumption of the combat shotgun and pulverizer, but the abundance of melee pickups around the arenas is simply too much, I'm sorry. Enhanced Shield Bash is banned, and the only shield rune allowed is Ground Fissure with no upgrades. All difficulty settings are allowed, but you must disable Enhanced Targeting and Empowered Attacks. Parry window can be anywhere from default to lowest. Damage to player must be set to the default of the difficulty you choose, or higher, you cannot lower it. Damage to demons is 100%, no higher, and I do not recommend lowering it because it'll put you at an unbearable ammo starvation point. If you do insist on lowering it, I will allow you to unlock the Jolt upgrade for the gauntlets early to help a little bit. This is a more extreme version of the rule set called Brawler Jolt, exclusive to 75 and 50% damage to demons. It is for experienced brawlers only, so don't try this right away. And if you just want pain, play these lower damage settings with no Jolt at all. And I ask you not to judge the balance of Brawler based on your adjustment of this setting. Enemy aggression must be set to max. Game speed can be anything from 100 to 150%, whatever you enjoy most. Daze duration must be lowered to 50%. This is non-negotiable and very important. You'll see why later. Projectile speed should be set to the default of your difficulty choice, but if you want to tweak this value, I will allow it as long as if you decide to lower it, you also raise the damage to player to compensate. Resource values, low. Drop it all the way down, very important. And max life sigils set to 0, no extra lives for you. I'm not requiring you to play all optional combat encounters or find all secrets, but I am suggesting you seek out difficult fights for the challenge. I'll put it this way, if you know that a gore nest exists, you must take it out. I'm not saying you have to find all the gore nests, but if you know one is there, it has to be eliminated. You're playing on the honor system essentially, hold yourself accountable. Don't skip that Komodo fight in Spire. Yeah, you're gonna die, but Brawler is gonna result in a bunch of deaths, so get over it. I am obviously banning any serious glitches or methods of skipping fights that would be unskippable in a normal run. If you want to run past rooms, you can, but no funny stuff. And finally, do not play this on Pandemonium or Ultra Nightmare unless you are already very experienced with the rule set. Brawler mode is not designed for permadeath modes, but if you do play on Pandemonium, of course I will allow you to use life sigils, max count 3. As for the weapons, I had to drop the number of available guns to 2 for a few reasons. The Dark Ages is simply a different design. It's a build-based game where you're maining 1 or 2 guns based on your melee, rune, and shield usage. Allowing the use of a bunch of different guns for brawlers simply doesn't work for the game it is. Having other guns allows for the dependence on more ammo pools, which puts less stress on the melee system to keep ammo high. Less stress on melee means less importance of falters and parries, and it all falls apart from there. So I'm sorry, I know it would be cool to allow the grenade launcher or some other underused weapon, but this isn't just about forcing the use of weapons you're not using much. It's about creating a certain synergy between all options. On top of that, many guns allow for too much runaway or distance play. I tried to incorporate the chain ball, but as soon as I did, the distance I was able to create was just too big, and it started overpowering the other 2 guns that kept me closer. And just like the plasma weapons and rockets, it's using a different ammo type, which completely throws things off balance. Many of these weapons are simply too good at long range, and for as much as I'd love to include the SSG for the D-limb falters, as soon as I allowed the SSG, it just became the SSG game, because it's so much more powerful and ammo efficient. Speed-boosted Pulverizer will be your main source of damage, combined with melee, which work together to stay in constant high speed. You'll need to master the art of sneaking in melee attacks whenever you can, after parries, during other falter states, to keep your ammo up, because the Pulverizer and Combat Shotgun eat through bullets fast. You are allowed to switch between the first 2 shotgun upgrades for either more armor or exploding enemies, but you may not use the Fodder Ignition upgrade because it makes it way too easy to run away from fights and just get a bunch of armor from a group of zombies. Triple shot only, which means that since Flail is also banned and Ground Fissure is unupgraded, your only source of armor is breaking enemy armor and targeting heavies with the Combat Shotgun. It's rough, it's gonna take some getting used to, and you're gonna die a bunch. Executions will be much more important because you'll always need health, and since you're executing more, you'll be getting more ammo. It all works together. I recommend undoing your keybinds so you can't accidentally pull out a prohibited gun, and disabling double tap in the game settings menu. When you acquire a new melee attack or shield rune, immediately enter the menu to switch back to the gauntlets and Ground Fissure. Jolt and the 4th Gauntlet Charge and Enhanced Shield Bash are also banned for the same reason the Wraithstone upgrades are banned. They introduce frequent high damage attacks into the game, which leads you to less ammo usage. And when one thing loses significance, everything does. Day's duration is set to 50% for a couple reasons. First, it encourages heightened awareness of the damage you're doing and quick navigation of the battlefield. And second, it leads to more missed execution opportunities, resulting in the need to empty more resources into the enemies to kill them. This is a more important part of the puzzle than you realize. Shield runes are limited to unupgraded Ground Fissure only. This was a difficult decision to make because I'd like to offer more variety, but daggers and auto turret granting constant boosts to directed damage just completely screws the ammo economy, and the shock rune is simply too powerful of a tool overall. It's gotta be Ground Fissure. It helps with armor breaking and falters, which plays nicely into the melee system. All of these specific limitations create a combat flow of constant intensity and confrontation. It encourages smart use of the melee system, planned parries, and targeted falters. The Pulverizer being your main damage source keeps you right up in the face of the demons, and moving at lightning speed from the speed boost. And Combat Shotgun will never be ignorable because it's your main armor source. Using 2 weapons that consume lots of ammo makes you strategically insert melee strikes whenever possible, and value executions as a source of ammo, not just health. You'll need to develop strategies based on your limitations and the power of your available options. If you're rocking the Pulverizer, switch to the Combat Shotgun for a quick shot at the end for a little armor gain. If you're using the combat shotgun, switch to the pulverizer for an execution to get the speed boost. Larger enemies contribute more to the bar, with super heavies instantly charging it. Identify groups of fodder for instant pulverizer charging. Sneak in melee attacks after non-faltering parries. Target your heavy damage kick on specific enemies. Develop an instinct for when enemies are close to death so you can always get the execution. You need it for health and ammo. If you run out of ammo, know that it's your fault for not being smart with melee and not getting enough parries to fuel your melee usage. Know your falters. Study the advanced faltering guide linked in the pinned comment below so you know exactly when super heavies are going to falter to take max advantage of multiple stun states. The Azrak boss fight is pretty rough, even with the Jolt upgrade, but his third phase actually makes him falter from 2 melee strikes. It's very easy to interrupt anything he does. The 2-hit falter also applies to Azrak in the Witch fight, so just don't let him get started. Overall, Brawler The Dark Ages is a pretty fun way to play the game. It'll definitely make you better at certain aspects of it. I wish I could offer you more variety, but I can't. The way you're playing by level 4 is essentially how you'll be playing till the end. But that's how Eternal's Brawler mode was too. It might feel unfair, and your first playthrough is going to be rough as hell, but I can't balance the rules around a single playthrough. I want Brawler mode to be something you can improve at and eventually master with repeat playthroughs. I will be paying attention to this comment section, so I invite you to come back to this video and share your experience with Brawler as you play. How does it make you think differently? What does it make you notice? What were the hardest parts? Are you going to get good at it and eventually try Brawler Jolt? I want to know all about it, and I'll make sure to keep up with you guys. I'll also be uploading a full playthrough of Brawler Jolt to this channel very soon after this video goes live, so check back. And I will try to get a drunk commentary version with a bell going too. Go forth and be brutal. I think you're going to have a lot of fun.